Hey book friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my April TBR video. We are going to be playing TBR University like normal, but it's going to be a bit of a special edition, if you will, because I participate in Gwen's Patreon. I'll link her down below. She's running a bit of a book of the month clear out kind of challenge, and I decided to take that into my TBR game. I'm going to include all book subscriptions though, so I am going to only be picking books that come from a subscription box, whether it be book of the month or books I've gotten from my sister, who is subscribed to a lot of those services. I'm not, but I still have a lot of those books, and I want book of the month plus those. So that's my plan, is I'm going to be playing my game, and I'm limiting myself to only those books, and I hope I can do it. I hope I can do it. So let's just hop in and see what I pick for April. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back, all the things. So before we hop in to picking my April TBR using my game, I do need to talk a bit about how March went. You know, it should have been easy, and it wasn't actually hard. I chose not to read all the books. Now, I read Oathbound. For sure, 100%. I love the Legend-Born cycle. I'm pretty obsessed with it right now. I want the fourth book like now, even though I don't even know when it's gonna come out. But I did read this. As for Powerless by Lauren Roberts, I've gone back and forth. I'm currently not going to read it. I want to read it, but I was reading a lot of other books that were similar to it, and I just couldn't pick it up. I did actually read Queen of Shadows, though, by Sarah J. Maas, and so that I did read, but I did not read Daisy Jones. Honestly, I feel like I will love that book. I have to be in the right headspace, and I just wasn't in March because, as you'll see, in the upcoming videos over the next couple months, we're moving. My husband got a new job, we are moving. And so it just adds to my life in a way that I don't want to have to feel like I need to read books, like need to. I'm just not gonna do that to myself. And since I designed this game in a way that I could play hard professor mode if I don't finish my previous month's TBR, that's what I'm gonna do for April. Hard professor mode, as you'll see, isn't not that much more difficult. There's a couple extra squares to work with, so we'll do that. I accept that punishment. It's not a big deal. Now that we've established it's going to be a hard professor, what kind of course are we going to be playing in April? So I have my handy dandy spinner wheel here, all loaded up with some genres that I like. So I have historical, romance, sci-fi, mystery, thriller, and fantasy. Let's do this together. Spin. Okay, I'll pop it up. We'll watch together, see what it lands on. Okay, that's actually a good one, mystery thriller. That's good because I feel like a lot of my book of the months are mystery thrillers. Not so much romance or fantasy. So we know it's a mystery thriller, hard professor course. So let's just flip the camera around and let's start playing the game. I'm curious how this is gonna go, restricting myself to just subscription boxes. I did decide that I'm gonna give myself 1 or 2 prompts that I can skip. If, for instance, I just can't find a book, because I am limiting the choices I have. So let me just flip the camera around. We'll start looking at the board and we'll start playing April's TBR game. All right, let's do this. Roll number 1. 6, that's not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's just a regular prompt. To remind you, if I do land on a green square, that's when I have to read a mystery thriller. But the prompt is favorite author. Favorite author. I can definitely find a subscription box book that is a favorite author. I'll be right back. Okay, this was actually a little harder than I thought, only because I realize a lot of times my book of the month or subscription boxes, I tend to try new authors. Like take, for example, my latest order, it was like 3 new authors. And so I can't use those, but I do have one that I ended up putting on my spring TBR. So I'm gonna put this on my April TBR. I only hesitated because it's so large. That's okay, that's okay. It's Leanne Moriarty's Here One Moment. Now I've read a couple books by her. The Husband's Secret I really liked. I just like her writing style, and then this one has really intrigued me because it has to do with like knowing your fate ahead of time. Like there's these people on a plane, and then there is a special passenger, a lady, I forget what she's called, the death lady, and I think she can predict like when people are going to die or how much time they have left to live, sort of idea. And it doesn't really affect some people, but for 6 passengers, their predicted deaths are not far away at all. So I'm not sure if we're following like those 6 characters or if they're tied together, or if there's something funny about this lady. But I'm gonna put Here One Moment. That's the first book on my TBR. Okay, rule number 2. 3. Oh no, we're not getting anywhere fast. 1, 2, 3, and now we landed on a genre-specific square. So this has to be a mystery thriller. Oh no, this is gonna make it hard. It has to be a mystery thriller that is a subscription box book. Oh, this could be really hard. A building on the cover. This could be really hard. Okay, let me see if I have anything. I will dig through all of these books because I feel like this might not be doable on just that genre. All right, never mind, I take that back. I found 2 options of mystery thrillers with buildings on the cover. So I have Like Mother, Like Daughter by Kimberly McCreight. And then I have this one. Oh, it's been on my TBR for so long. The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I feel like they're totally different. So this is like a mother-daughter. The mother goes missing. They are estranged, but the daughter kind of looks into her kidnapping, murder, whatever she thinks is going on. Then this one has to do with like a family where the dad is lying to the mom and the stepdaughter, and he goes missing, but maybe he's involved. I'm leaning more towards this. This feels more like a spy movie type book. I've been wanting to read it forever. May 2021, it says on the back. That's why Gwen is running this challenge, because I love my Book of the Month subscription, but sometimes I don't read them. So I'm going to be reading this one. Okay, let's do roll number 3. Here we go, roll number 3, 8. That's much better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just a regular prompt. Let's see what we got. Hyped book. Oh, I think I know just the one I'm gonna choose. Let me go pick it out. All right, so again, I came up with 2 books. 2 books that could potentially qualify as hyped books. One I just picked up. So this was the book of the year for Book of the Month. No, it wasn't. It didn't win. It was one of the 5 finalists. And that's Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. So this has to do with, I believe, sisters. It's often described as like Caraval for adults. Like there's 2 sisters and one of them decides to like pay off their family debt by entering Phantasma, which is a competition where contestants rarely escape alive and the victors granted a single wish. So it sounds like Ophelia has to enter in to win. Okay, I know this is a fantasy romance. I know it's like equally loved or not loved by people. So I'm very curious about this. This is one of those books I'm curious about. But then I also do have this beautiful copy of A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. So it has like a really cool, The Only Enemy is the Sea, and it's a Goldsboro edition. I've never read any of Ava Reed's stuff. So she's like The Wolf and the Woodsman, Juniper and Thorn. So I believe her writing is YA. It's YA, kind of gothic, atmospheric, slightly romantic, I believe. This has to do with our main character, Effie, I believe is her name. Effie, who is like in architecture school, but she has like this beloved book from a beloved author, and that author is, I think, running a contest to redesign his estate or something to that notion. And so since she's an architecture student, I believe she wants to enter that contest. But then there's this rival guy who does not like this author, maybe, and so there's some tension, enemies to lovers, potentially. Oh my gosh, I feel like this could be so good. Why can I never decide? Okay, I think I'm gonna do this one. I'm just gonna stick with the Book of the Month theme I've got going on. I just got this, I want to read it, so I'm gonna pick Phantasma. I hope I don't regret that, because I feel like some people really haven't liked it. It's all character dependent for me. If it's like too spicy, I can read past that if I like the plot and the characters. So that's what I'm picking. All right, let's move on to roll number 4. Let's see, roll number 4 now. 8. 1, oh, that's the wrong way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we're missing all of our special squares here, which I feel like I hit them more often than not. So recommended book. Recommended book. Okay. All right. Let me see what I can find. We'll see if it maybe is a non-Book of the Month subscription box. All right. I picked a book. It's a recommended book. Now, I have to think of who's recommended this book to me, but I feel like it was very popular early last year, and I have a very beautiful copy, and it's Faybound by Sarah L. Arifi. Now, I have not read her other trilogy that she's more popular for. So that's, I think, what's it called? The Final Strife. But this one is a first book in a series. Probably shouldn't start a series, but this is a very pretty copy. And it is about sisters. Again, some more sisters here. And what I understand this to be about is these two sisters who are in the elven world. One is in the army and one is a diviner and seeking prophecies of a better future. And then Yiran's exile. So she gets exiled, and her sister end up leaving the elven world and finding the Fae court. So I think I'm going to learn the difference between elves and Fae in this book. And it sounds like the Fae haven't been seen for a millennia. So I'm not quite sure like what the overarching plot is or what the problem is. But I'm curious. I'm curious what this book is about. And this is a beautiful copy. So definitely sub box. I think this is Lumicrate. No, Fairyloot. So we'll put that there and we'll roll. This is our 5th roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to get bigger than a 6 to finish up and run the final spinner. So let's see. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. So that's the end of the course except for the final exam. All right. So I'm going to spin my final wheel. It has stuff like Book of the Month, that would be obvious, yearly TBR, series, buddy reads, and seasonal TBRs. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to easily do that with subscription boxes. Let's just try. Let's try. Let's see what happens. Maybe it'll just land on Book of the Month and then that will solve all my problems. I don't think it's going to though. Yearly TBR. Okay, actually, need to remind myself of my yearly TBR because I made it a little smaller this year for the purpose of the fact that I didn't want to put 25 books on a TBR. So I think I put 15. Now I need to go remind myself what they are and find one I can pick. Hopefully one of them is from a sub box. Okay, I looked at my yearly TBR list, what I have and what I'm going to do, which is not necessarily cheating because I don't know if this is going to be true or not. Okay, I'm hoping that Book of the Month is going to put out, as it's one of its main picks or one of its extra picks in the month of April, they're going to put out Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I hope so. I'm going to put this on here irregardless because it's actually the pick for my book club, the Elevate Your Reading Book Club, always linked down below. There's a prompt as well as a buddy read. I forget what the prompt is. I'll put it up here because I always forget what the prompt is because you could just read a book for the prompt or you can read with us. This month might be a little harder because this is legit a new release. It comes out, I think, April 1st. That's why I'm hoping Book of the Month has it. If not, I'll be ordering it. I did not get on the library list early enough. But this book, I have no idea what it's about. I just know I really like Abby Jimenez's, that's hard to say, her writing style. I feel like her books are very emotional and real and morally gray. Like people are going through things that are legit. And so I like her stuff. So I'm definitely reading this. I'm going to put this on as my final exam book because it is on my yearly TBR for my TBR University stack. So we'll start with 5 books. That's what I have for this month's game. Hopefully I can read 5 books. I couldn't read 4 books last month, but I think these ones are really good choices. So Abby Jimenez, hopefully Book of the Month. Faybound by Sarah L. Arifi. I need to figure out how to say her name. I don't think it's Sarah. And then Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. The Last Thing You Told Me by Laura Dave. That's my oldest book. And then Here One Moment by Leanne Moriarty. And so these are all short of maybe this one, books that definitely were on my list of to read books. And so this actually worked better than I expected. I got all books from sub boxes. Now I do have 2 books to add. Now I was able to get my buddy read on there, so that's good. But I also have this book. Oh, it's not going officially on my TBR. This is my extras. I won't hold myself to having to read this, but I do really want to read this because it's part of the Catch Up Book Club that Becca from Becca and the Books runs, and we're on the 3rd book of the Faithful and the Fallen series by Gwen, and that book is Ruin. I've given the first 2 books 5 stars. I really have enjoyed this epic world. I've enjoyed our main character of Corbin. I've enjoyed this like war of the gods, the good god, the bad god, and then everybody who kind of falls under them and they're being manipulated in different ways. And oh my gosh, the way book 2 ended, there's so many things I'm just looking forward to. And these are gigantic. And so last time it took me like 10 days to kind of slowly work my way through, what book was it? Valor. And I just loved it, you guys. I loved it so much. And so I really want to read this and take my time with it. So I'm putting this on my TBR as well. The other book I want to put on here because I don't think I'm going to squeeze it into the end of March. I have some other things I need to read here the end of March since I gave up on my TBR University TBR, which we've already dealt with. The latest Hunger Games book. Oh, I saw so many people read this on like release day, and there's so much hype, and I'm so excited because I reread the whole Hunger Games series last year, and I read the Snakes, Songbirds and Snakes one for the first time. So good. And now Hamish's story, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I want to read it. I think it's going to be on my TBR irregardless, so I might as well like put it on my stack so that I see it and get to it if I haven't already, because I really want to read that book. So that's 7 books on my April TBR. I'm really excited for them, you guys. This has been the best reading year in a long time, and so I'm excited for all of these books. Let me know down below what your plans are for April. I'm really excited to potentially clear out 1, 2, 3, if not 4 book of the month, depending on if the Abby Jimenez book is on there. So let me know what you're excited for April. But if you don't necessarily have anything you want to say, maybe leave me a raindrop, because it's like April showers. I am so ready for spring, you guys. And it's right in the middle of moving, so I guess we'll come back in May to see how I did on this, to see if I'm able to stick to a TBR or if it's just too stressful of a season to do that. But I have been making wrap-up videos this year, so you'll see all my thoughts on my March books and hopefully these books for April. So hope you all are well, and I will see you guys in the next book video. Take care.